Welcome to the Love Your Life and Yourself podcast, the weekly show where science meets soul and mom chaos meets mind mastery. You're not just a mom. You're a woman with dreams, a career, a body that needs care, and a soul that craves more. This podcast is your permission slip to stop surviving and start thriving in motherhood, health, career, and stress resilience. I'm your host, Dr. Ashley Rath, and every week we bring you actionable insights and transformative conversations to help you create a life you truly love. From evidence-based wellness strategies to authentic self-discovery, we'll explore what it takes to thrive through expert interviews and real unfiltered stories. Let's dive into today's episode. Welcome back, everyone. What if 3 minutes of cold could shift your mood, your metabolism, and your stress response for the rest of the day? Today, we're unpacking cold immersion therapy or ice baths or cold plunges, whatever you want to call it, what it is, what it helps with, and exactly how to start safely. No dares, maybe just one. But we're going to go over the physiology, your breath, and how to consistently create it in your habits. So welcome. I'm Dr. Ashley Rath. As always, this is educational and not medical advice. So talk to your physician before doing this, especially if you are pregnant or have high blood pressure or heart issues. So what is cold immersion therapy? Cold immersion or ice baths or cold plunges or whatever you may call it is essentially brief exposure to cold water, usually within the 40 to 50 degree range for a specific physiological goal: faster cool downs, muscle recovery, immune modulation, mood support, stress resilience, faster recoveries. Really, it's a modern take to hydrotherapy, which is like cold therapy. This surged, I would say, like in the 18th, 19th centuries as personalized counter movements to a one size fits all medicine. So even then, it had its champions and critics, I would call it, but interest has continued to spread. And I would say it is fairly sexy right now in the United States. And there is, I feel like they have been doing hot springs and cold back and forth for centuries now in modern day. Now we have, ice baths with ice bath chillers, etc. So why does this matter? Really, it is a therapy that I started using more regularly in the last year. And I think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing and I feel better. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into what it actually says and what the research is saying too. So what there's a couple big things that research has shown that cold immersion does. Number one is really a faster cool down. So if you train hard or live where it's hot, this cold immersion therapy, roughly around that 50 degrees, can cut this cool down time roughly in half with essentially just passive rest. So this is really useful for heat stress and expended energy and just long efforts. The number two thing research shows is muscle recovery. So the cold essentially restricts or constricts blood vessels and limits the swelling and soreness after tough sessions, workout sessions, or events, or games, or meets, etc. So this is really great for heavy days of lifting or events. And however, if you want to gain muscle, you don't want to use this cold immersion right after you lift, as that can kind of slow down muscle gain. However, this has been going on for many, many, many years now. Trainers, especially in higher level athletes, have these in their locker rooms where after practice or after games, the athletes are going in and submerging into these ice baths. Really helps with that muscle recovery and faster recovery for overall heightened performance. Another really cool thing that research shows is it has immune modulation. So over weeks, what we're going to go through in a little bit is adding breath work to these cold immersions. This cold appears to shift this inflammatory signaling to more anti-inflammatory. So therefore, you're going to have more good, less bad in pro-inflammatory cells circulating. So what happens over time is your immune function actually improves. You have better immune functions. You're going to get sick less often and you're going to have fewer symptoms. So this is promising, but not necessarily like a cure all, right? But we do know that it helps to modulate the immune system, which is huge. The other thing, which I find this one, because I can actually feel it the most, is mood. There are research articles that suggest some people experience immediate mood lifting and long-term relief from anxiety, depression, etc. when cold immersion therapy is practiced safely and consistently. Consistently is the key. Honestly, what I've noticed personally is a heightened increase of energy and I just feel more alert and awake and have just more clarity within my mind. Um, Obviously, the other benefits are fantastic too, but this is the one that personally I feel the best on. I do want to go over, because I am saying this publicly, that their safety is obviously the first and foremost. We want everyone to stay safe. Cold shock does happen. It's like the initial when you first get in. Everything in your body is telling you not to do it, right? Get out, get out, get out. There's this like involuntary like gasp and you have faster breathing, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure spikes. So what I tell people is enter on the exhale and then try to keep your shoulders down. Your initial reaction is going to be, whoa, shoulders up to your ears. You're going to gasp in for air. But really, this is a great opportunity to start to get to start implementing some breath work. This is really, really, really powerful when we talk about nervous system hacks and how to kind of hijack that nervous system. So your breath is going to be your friend as you are working through that cold shock response that you most likely will have. So with another thing that happens is your dexterity and like strength are going to drop. So we want to keep the session short. Really, I would say, you know, anywhere from 90 seconds upwards of a couple minutes. 4 or 5 minutes are kind of the top ones that I go in. Normally I'm in there for like about 3 minutes. But what happens is when you are in that 40 to 50-degree weather, your whole muscles are going to not move as good. Your dexterity is going to decrease and your strength is going to drop. So you want to make sure that you're not in deep water when you do this, like go into shallow water or in a cold plunge where you can stand up or sit. And then, of course, be able to get out. So don't stay in there much longer than just a couple minutes. We don't want hypothermia to start. Hypothermia really is just a longer exposure to cold. It's where your actual core temperature falls for a length of time. And you want to make sure you just kind of time cap these sessions so you're able to get out of the water and still feel in control. Another thing after you come out, so post immersion, after you relax, your stress hormones fall and your blood pressure is going to drop. You want to do this kind of gradually, not super sharp. You don't want like super high spikes and drops in that blood pressure and core temp, essentially. So what do we do? Like, how do you do it? So really, the easiest way to do it is if I were to give you a roadmap, let's say like a 30-day on-ramp roadmap that's really not going to cost you anything extra. You don't have to buy anything. Is you can start in the shower, or you can even start with like a bowl with ice, and you're gonna dip your head in it. It has to be cold, so put the ice in and let the water cool down. Dip your head in it for 10 seconds, hold your breath, come out, and then do that again 3 times. The other thing is you can start in the shower. So really this builds tolerance and nervous system control before you ever touch like a full immersion tub therapy. Honestly, I think the tub is easier than a cold shower. I love hot showers. Don't get me wrong, cold immersion therapy and cold plunges, ice baths, they are not that fun. I don't ever really want to get in them. It's kind of like working out for me. I do these things because I know I understand the benefits and I feel better after. So I like the baths better than the showers, but start with the shower because if you don't start, you're never going to do it. And you can finish like let's just say if I were to make a roadmap, let's say day 1 to 10, you finish the shower with 60 seconds of cold. If it's helpful, you can go 20 minutes on, 10 seconds off, and do that 3 times. And I want you to start breathing intentionally with this. You're going to breathe through your nose for 3 to 5 seconds and out through your mouth for 5 to 10. So you go. And then what you can add is like a soft hum to exhale and encourage nitric acid to help oxygen delivery. So you're going to breathe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe out for 10. So right? Okay. So when you breathe out, you make the hum. I didn't do the full 10 seconds, but that is essentially what you're going to do. What you can do from days 11 to 20 is you're going to build for 2 to 3 minutes total. Yes, 2 to 3 minutes total in a cold shower. You can take a couple days off, 1 to 2 days off if you feel a little frazzled. And then days 21 to 30, you can bump it up to 3 to 5. Honestly, there's not a lot of research that goes past that kind of 2-3 minute mark. But if you want to push yourselves, do the 3 to 5. Make sure to use your breath. Your breath is going to help you stay in control. Your mind will stay more steady, and you will exit feeling more empowered and not a complete disaster and wrecked, which is not what we want, right? So again, make sure that you're healthy and strong enough to be able to handle this pregnancy, blood pressure, etc. This is not medical advice. I'm just telling you what works for me. There's a couple protocols: energy support, digestive, mood anxiety, immune support, and which one am I missing? Energy support, digestive support, mood, and immune support. So there's 4, sorry. Energy support, like all of these, in my opinion, work best at that 40 to 50 degree mark. If you want energy support, I'd love like the full submersion. If you don't have that, the 3 to 5 minutes in a shower is absolutely fantastic. Digestive support, what we would actually want to do is start to trigger a light shivering. So within, 1 to 3 minutes, it may take you longer if you're in a shower just because you're not fully submerged. But when you are actually gently shivering, that is going to support digestive support and fat loss the most. So let the shiver settle without aggressive rewarming, so not like a hot shower or anything, and just repeat 2 to 5 rounds as tolerated. Mood anxiety, same temp range, that 40 to 50. You can have like your hands outside if you're in a bath for stability, and just make sure you're really, really working on your breath as you're in there for that 2 to 5 minute frame. If you want, you can even dunk your head in at the end. That's a great kind of shocker. And you really want to do this again for that like 3 to 5 minutes and let your body warm. All of these, you want to let your body warm gradually, not with super hot showers. Um, Immune support, actually, you do have a little bit of back and forth. You can do cold, hot. Cold, hot, what it does is it restricts or it constricts. So everything in your body, everything will get small, not everything, but your vessels, your arteries, your veins, etc., will constrict. And then in heat or warm baths, they will expand. So it acts as like a pumping mechanism, that contrast. And so if you're sick or you want some more immune support, this is a great thing to do. You can actually do this if you live in cold temperatures, like you can go outside really cold, go in the hot shower, go outside. So you can do this with air as well, but it works faster and stronger with cold immersion therapy. And if you want, you can dunk your head. Again, facial constriction works too. You're going to stimulate that part of the nervous system to help regulate that stress response. All right. When should I plunge? Well, many people love the mornings for alertness. If muscle growth is, again, your top priority, don't do it right after your workouts. If it's not a huge priority, it really, really helps with muscle recovery. So after workouts, after long runs, after hot days, doing it for a cool down is really great. I would advise not to do it like right before you go to bed, because it is going to spike your cortisol a bit. So you're not going to want to spike your cortisol right before you hop into bed, because then you probably won't fall asleep. And your body needs a little bit of warming time. So it might take you a bit to fall asleep because you're freezing. So, how do you know it's working? Well, consistency is key, but you're going to start to settle faster in the water. It's not going to be as hard when you first hop in. You're going to recover quicker afterwards. So, your body is just going to have more resilience. What I notice the most is in my energy and moods. They're more stable. I am more alert. I am more awake. And I just feel better. So, if this landed on you, please share. I'd love to hear your comments and what you're doing and what's working or what's not working. Or I'd love to hear when you are going to start your challenge. Again, please share this podcast on your socials. Hit the like button, hit the follow button, write a review. It really helps spread the word, and I would be ever so grateful. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'd love to connect with you. Talk soon. Thanks for tuning in to Love Your Life and Yourself. I hope today's episode gave you one more tool or one more truth to help you thrive in your health, happiness, and resilience. Remember, loving yourself isn't selfish, it's leadership. And it's the foundation for building a life that actually feels like yours. If this spoke to you, hit that follow button, leave a review, and send it to a friend who needs to hear it. And if you want to dive even deeper, grab a copy of my #1 best-selling book, Love Your Life and Yourself. It's the heart behind this podcast, and it's helped thousands of women step into a life they actually love. You can find it at drashleyrath.com or through the link in the show notes. Until next time, take care of you and keep choosing to love your life and yourself.